For all the latest community news and events.
103.2 Preston FM.
Your community, your radio.
It's lovely to have my next guest in the studio. Not seen him for a while. It's our quantum folk poet, Dean Fraser. So, Dean, a very good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Hughie. Lovely to be back.
And I think life keeping you quite busy at the moment because, of course, you've got a book out and I think on tour.
Indeed, yes. I've not been in Preston very much recently. That's why you've not seen me a lot. So Many Words, my poetry collection is out and I'm undertaking a UK tour to promote it.
And, I mean, is it the first time in a way that you've done something like go to distant lands and tour with a book?
For a very long time, yes. I used to do this many years ago, but in my return to performing, yes, it's the first time I've cast my net a little bit wider than just the northwest.
And I know you and I in the past, we've often talked about poetry and the fact that from my own personal point of view, I think I was always let down at school.
Yes.
Through, I never felt that poetry was taken serious when I was at school, or maybe it was just the fact that I wasn't in the right time or the right frame of mind at that age to get interested in
be
poetry.
Receptive to it.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. I had a wonderful English teacher called George Maund. Thank you, George. Who did encourage me a lot in my writing, but I think he was probably the exception rather than the rule. So, yes, I mean, that's what I like to do. I like to perform in many diverse different places, and if I look out into the audience and see young people in there, I feel I'm doing my job.
Yes. And was it, Dean, was it through the teacher that you think got the interest and brought poetry alive for you?
Certainly storytelling. Most of my poems are stories that just happen to rhyme. That's what I always say to people, that yes, they happen to rhyme, but it's more I take people on a journey, on a story. So in the sense of storytelling, yes, this man always appreciated the stories that I wrote, basic though they may have been back then. And that's carried on through the things that I write now and the things that I perform.
And of course you have performed frequently around here, Penwortham Live, etc., and other lives around the Preston area.
Yes, for sure. The work that Nigel does locally with the live events is absolutely wonderful, and it's giving people a platform to perform to local people, which has to be good. It's fantastic.
And as you say, it must be nice when you are touring or when you are reading poetry to look out and see, well, and people of all ages, but particularly of young people who are there, because you never know what spark you may bring alive in those people to turn them on to budding poets of the future.
Yes, that's why down in the Midlands at the moment I've got some workshops coming up, which I'm hoping will be some young people in as well, and I can engage them in poetry and show them it isn't just sort of Wordsworth and Byron, nothing against those guys, but maybe young people can't quite relate to them. So it can be meaningful, it can express maybe emotions you've got difficulty in getting out of yourself, and it can also be funny.
Because, of course, maybe lots of people don't realise that poetry can reflect life very much, can't it? And it can reflect life in all its seriousness or in light-hearted humour, because, I mean, your poetry does reflect life in its various guises.
Yeah, I like to think so, yes.
So have you got a poem for us?
I have indeed. I always come prepared. This is from the book that I've got out. I'll just say it again. So Many Words, available from Amazon and all good online retailers. And this is called Just the Model. I hope I haven't done this on here before. I don't think I have. And it's about what you say when you happen to say yes to a friend without having really thought through the consequences first.
Something I know well.
Yes, I'm sure we've all done it. So it's called Just the Model. Just walk naturally down the catwalk. How exactly? For me, not exactly a cakewalk. Doing a favour for a friend, taking on new meaning. How did I get involved in this? What was I dreaming? Time to confess what I had agreed to that fateful day. A bridal fair. Yes, I know, you don't have to say. I had to pretend to be a groom, and then walk a bit. Fine, until I saw who I was paired with, then, oh dear. My bride for the whole event, my partner was fair carry. So fond of one another we barely talked, never mind marry. The director said, walk to the end and then you two kiss. What? this is one our friends would not want to miss. Being professional, not wishing to spoil the event, what we did, and the kiss we couldn't circumvent. We closed our eyes, did the deed, our friends laughing horribly. Carrie and I managing not to look too repulsed, probably. How many more wedding dresses do they want Carrie to parade? Oh, great! Only another 4 more times to go, my day is made. Said to the director, can I not change partners, have a different wife? She looked at me in horror. Our brides and grooms are together for life. I still have the flashbacks sometimes, waking, expecting to see Carrie. Maybe the trauma of that event is why I never chose to marry.
Lovely. Well done, Dean. And I'm sure you will be back touring the Northwest after the Midlands. So you're down in the Midlands at the moment?
Yeah, I'm working in Stoke-on-Trent, Cheshire East, South Manchester. Basically working my way down to Birmingham.
And the workshops?
Yeah, the workshops are something that I did a long time ago, and it's been suggested that perhaps I can do this again. And I think, yeah, good. I love putting something back and engaging other people in poetry. So if I'm able to do that, and who knows, maybe someone will be out there doing what I do at some point.
And do people come along with a kind of, although I'm going into the world of art here, if I say do people come along with a blank canvas, do people come along with preconceived ideas of what poetry is going to be and what you're going to be doing within the workshop?
A little bit of everything, actually, Hughie. But what I like to do is I give people a theme. Maybe I'll give them photographs or just some words. Something that means something to them, and then it's up to them to work with it. It can rhyme, it can not rhyme, whatever, anything goes.
And the book itself, how did you choose the content of the book? Was that quite difficult? Because I know you more or less write daily, hourly,
yes.
whenever. So
pretty much rent a poet.
That's
yes.
right. Yeah.
Yes.
So was that quite difficult, Dean, to put a book together?
I have a pool of about 250 poems.
Yes.
And really the ones I included in so many words, there you go, I said it again, are the ones which I include in my live set when I'm performing. So in a sense, it's the audience who've chosen them, not me.
And still writing the poems daily and hourly, are you? I mean, I'm sure there's lots of rich material also down in the Midlands.
Yes, I'm sure there will be. I've been down there once or twice. I'm going down more in November. I've got quite a lot of performances down there in November. So, yeah, next time I come on here, we'll see if anything new's come along.
So with the stock of poetry that you have, I would imagine the second book will not be that far away after the first book.
Probably not. This isn't actually the first one, it's the fourth one.
The fourth one, fourth book.
Yes.
Wow.
But yes, I'm working on material all the time, so when I feel the time is right, I'll put another one out there and hopefully it'll be as well received as this one has been. And
again, I know we've talked about that in the past. One of the nice things, of course, is when you are performing, you also often perform with other poets, with musicians, etc. Sadly, I was away when you came into the studio with
Tom Metcalf.
That's right.
Yes, that was very special.
I would have loved to have done that because I've heard Tom. I mean, I just love hearing Tom.
Oh, what a talented man.
So
great to work with as well.
And that's what I mean. It must be nice being able to do that, to work with other poets, of course solo, but also to work with musicians, with other poets.
I have over the years. I've worked with some fantastic people. I'm not going to name check every single one, but thank you everyone. You know who you are.
That's right.
At the moment, I'm working solo because it's unrealistic to expect other people to be able to travel as I'm doing, but. Yeah, I'm sure at some point next year I'll touch base in Preston again and work with some other people.
So the venues, are they mainly libraries at the moment in the Midlands?
There's a few, if you like, museums for people, museums of cultural heritage that I'm doing things at. But yeah, it's mainly libraries. They're like my second home, really, libraries.
Does poetry within the country, does it kind of change in various areas that you work in? Either the humour, I'm sure humour particularly must do.
It does. And also, as a Lancashire-based poet, a lot of my material is inspired by the county, and I did wonder, going out of the county, how well it would travel. But it's absolutely fine. That I'm not having any problems. People may not know all the towns, but if there's a bit of humour in there or a bit of social history, they're getting it, and it's working.
Good. And that's what I mean. Maybe you will be picking up some of the traits of the Midlands to put into future pieces of work.
For sure. I mean, I'm working in South Manchester, which is where I grew up as a child, and it's lovely to go back there, hear the accents I used to hear as a kid. It's like going home in a way.
Lovely.
Although I was born in Preston, I grew up in South Manchester.
And I think you've got another poem for us.
I have. Just a short one. I suspect I may have done this one before, but anyway, hopefully it won't bore anybody. It's called Eve, ? She bit into the green apple with perfect white teeth. Is her hair really that shade of red? I suspend disbelief. Smartly dressed, she stands there all of the day. Kitchen selling them to anyone to earn her pay. She sees all life going on, standing, smiling next to her display. She must have heard it all, chatted up in every possible way. Managing to look like the kitchen she sells really matter, as a mouth-cleaning woman stops by for a friendly natter. Caught off guard, just this once, stepping away from duty. Eating her apple, leant against a pillar, flame-haired beauty.
Lovely. There you are, Dean Fraser. So, Dean, people can, of course, as I'm doing now, look at your Facebook page.
Dean Fraser, the quantum folk poet, you'll find me there.
That's right, the quantum folk poet. And also, again, just remind us of the book.
The book is called So Many Words, 100 and odd pages, great value. It's available from Amazon and all good online retailers.
And your next workshop down in the Midlands then, when did you say you're back down there?
I'm back down there in November. I have a lot of dates going on down there. So I shan't list every single one of them.
But
if you happen to be down in the Midlands, you'll find me there somewhere.
Lovely. Well, as always, a pleasure to meet you. Thanks for coming in this afternoon, Dean. Thank you.
Made by people like you.
Your community.
Your radio.
Your Preston FM.